What is up, everybody? This is the Commanders Draft Show. We are 24 hours away from the 2025 NFL Draft, and we have so much to discuss before the very big day. We talking rumors, we're talking trade possibilities, our favorite draft prospects, and we're going to do our final mock up here on the channel. So buckle up. It's your favorite crew as we get ready for the 2025 NFL draft come tomorrow night. Let's go ahead and kick it. What is going on, everybody? It's the Commanders Draft Show live on YouTube, live on Facebook, live on X. We are back again for another episode. This is a little bit of a Wednesday edition, but this is perfect sense, though, right, Kyle? 24 hours from now, will be the start of the NFL draft come tomorrow night. So, how excited are you? We finally here.
Well, I'm excited. I'm a little bit nervous too, just based on how we looked at each of these prospects and to see if Adam Peters and company feel the same way. And so, that Emmanuel Forbes pick is giving me some PTSD because I was all over Christian Gonzalez and I was second guessing myself. And so I'm hoping that I wasn't too wrong on the mark with this one.
Yeah. So, I think that's obviously the biggest thing. We do have draft PTSD when it comes to these type of moments. Either these are the moves that helps build your football team for the future, or it tears your football team down because you look down at these decisions. But after the first year around this time, we pretty much knew where they were going. Like they were going quarterback, but a lot of us still had decided which quarterback was going to be. But general consensus, it was Jaden Daniels to be the number 2 overall pick. But this year, we're picking at 29 after a magical season. We were the NFC runner-ups in the conference championship game. We lost to the Philadelphia Eagles. Unfortunately, they won the Super Bowl. So now we're picking at 29 in this draft. And as you can see, there are like a lot of things to really talk about. To be honest with you, Kyle, because like there's a lot of possibilities of where they can go into this draft. So my thing to you, last year we knew where we're going. This year we kind of don't because we're all over the place. How do you assess that?
Yeah, like I feel like the only couple positions that we can take off the board entirely in confidence is probably kicker and punter, and even long snapper, I guess you could say. But we really don't know. We have a firm understanding or guess that they want to add to the edge room, but then you could go running back, you could go wide receiver in the first round. It's really all over the place. This is going to be a hard one to gauge, and especially for Adam Peters and company. I would go on to say that this year is probably harder for them for scouting over last year, just based on now you have to find guys that will fit in with what you have. Not necessarily the same breath as last year where you were trying to find guys to build the foundation with.
I agree with that, man. I agree with that. Smoke, what up, man?
What's up, fellas? How y'all doing this
So,
evening, man? Pre-draft,
Doing
man.
good, but glad you came up here around time for this question. So last year, obviously around this time, we were the number 2 overall pick.
Mm-hmm.
We knew by the general consensus as we got to this point that it was going to be Jaden Daniels at number 2. Here we now at 29 with an endless amount of possibilities to go. And obviously there's some rumors and stuff going around, and we'll get to that very soon in this podcast. But how do you assess when you don't actually know where this team is going to go? Because there's so many possibilities at hand for the Washington Commanders.
Man, I wish everybody could take my fandom and just trust the process, bro. Like we see what AP is doing. AP even kind of alluded to it in his little presser yesterday and things of that nature. Like they did so much in their eyes in free agency to where everything's on the board right now. These are the days we live for. You know what I mean? We don't
Yeah.
want top one, top two, top five pick. We want to be 29 through 32. You know what I mean? Just like, okay, whoever falls there, guess what? We're adding talent to this roster. And that's what it's about, bro. Just adding talent, man. Especially you want guys that's going to buy in, fit in, things of that nature. But when it comes to position, like me, man, I'm just like, what's the best talent at 29? You know what I mean? And that's just where I'm going at, man. I believe, they have a message. They done talk to all these prospects. You know what I mean? These prospects know, hey, guess what? You get drafted to Washington, no matter if it's the first round, second round, fourth round, what was it, sixth or seventh round, as it stands right now. You know what I mean? You got to come in here to compete because we are building a winner and things of that nature. So right now, I'm just, man, all my faith is in AP, man. AP and brass.
I
That's
don't
what
want to
it's
root for Notre Dame.
Hey.
He said you should take my fandom. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you.
I'm kidding.
I had a good year, though, in fandom, Kyle. I'm a
Yep.
Duke guy. I'm a
There you go.
Commanders and a Notre Dame guy. I did pretty good this year. I did pretty good.
You were a happy man. A lot more than
Yeah.
my Hokies were.
Well, a little. I didn't. It wasn't the best ending, but it was okay. So hey.
Yeah, got you. But I think it's interesting that you point that out, Smoke. Like taking the best guy available, and that's been a conversation for the past couple of months for this team because while there is a need at end, while there is a need at corner, while there is a need at running back and wide receiver, there's a endless possibilities this team can go. Like there's speculation talking about maybe an offensive lineman might fall there. And we know that obviously they did some work on the offensive line this year, hinting for looking at the Laramie Tunzel trade. But I don't think that stops you from adding top tier talent in that room, and especially that's a guy you love and you building an investment towards your quarterback. Because a lot of these teams have a problem in history. We see they have the quarterback, but they don't naturally build around them the perfect way. And what better way is for Jaden Daniels is to have a fortress around him where he don't have to rely on his legs all the time. He can actually play with from in the pocket. Or the run game could be extremely better because you got a rogue mauler at left guard per se or right tackle.
I do want to talk about this before we get going because we talk about best player available, right? But we also all understand there is no number one consensus of layering and putting like data supply to be able to say this guy's better than this guy, right? It's all subjective, right?
Yeah.
Like they all have their own feelings within everything. So I'll say like the need thing, I would change it. I would change it to wants. Like I feel like they have wants at positions. Like you could say O-line without a doubt, edge rusher, of course. I know the fan base has said running back, and I'm sure the team does as well. But I would imagine that want tier is different for
Yeah.
some of these positions. And so, because I think getting to the NFC Championship game changed things. If you're still building the foundation of the team to win in 5 years, that's a different story. You go best player available, even though you have a lot of defensive tackles, you get the best player available. It's a defensive tackle, take it. But because we made the NFC Championship game, it's we have to compete now. And so maybe they don't go down the route of best player available if it is a defensive tackle or let's say, I don't know, running back, so to speak, because is that going to help them be able to get to the Super Bowl this year based on what happened last year? And like that, it's very weird for me and how they're going to go about this. I'm really intrigued to see how they navigate it because at this point through free agency and trades, they've shown us it's win now.
Yeah. And it's interesting you brought up running back because even when we talk about best player available, we also know that certain positions are in rarity. A lot of people have conversations like us when we talk about what do you take in the first round. We always talk about the premium positions. That's quarterback, defensive end, wide receiver, left tackle per se. Now the right tackle is starting to get some steam in terms of that premium position as well. But when you talk about the running backs, when you talk about the tight ends, those positions as well, they're starting to gain steam based on how deep they are. And obviously, the running backs last year, they had a huge boost when you saw guys like Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, and Josh Jacobs got paid big money, and they're having an impact on their team. So how did that come into the conversation, knowing that this team has a need at running back and there's a possible need elsewhere?
I mean, I think they address it all. Like we know there are plenty of running backs, like in this class right here, to where you don't have to fall in love with the top two or top three. You know what I mean? Yes, you and the way I look at it is, I've been saying it a lot, man. Like we know DQ and Brass, they love competition.
Right.
And if you draft a guy, say at 61, and he comes in and he's working his tail off, and they looking at Brian Robinson, and they like, hold on, like maybe Brian Robinson don't like this competition. He doesn't have the same kick that we thought we saw last season or whatever it is. Hey, man, guess what? The door is right there. We see like what style of player they want, what type of mental state you gotta be in, and things of that nature, man. So if they went 61 at running back or 29, and we know how much DQ loves competition, I think they really gonna be keeping their eyes on B Rob to see how he takes that competition. Like, is he gonna be pouting, or is he gonna be like, no, guess what? I'm the leader of this bunch. And guess what? Even though I'm on a 1 year deal, I'm gonna bring this guy along with me. And they look at all that stuff that we don't see. You know what I mean? That's from the weight room to film sessions to, yes, we can see training camp and stuff like that, but it goes so much more into the process of the mental psyche of these players, man. So that's just where I'm at with it, man. 29, 61, 128, whoever it is, they're going to come in and compete. And if the better competitor, best man wins in DQ's eyes. And
I
he
don't
kind
think
of said that, man.
I don't think Brian Robinson would have an issue with it. Of course,
Oh, yeah.
coming from Alabama, like he already didn't have a huge amount of rushes early on in his college career. It wasn't until his senior year that he actually got the rock a lot. But also, he didn't make a fuss when Austin Eckler was brought here last year, knowing that it was going to be a compliment to him and kind of take some weight off his shoulders, so to speak. Obviously, without Antonio Gibson, I don't think Brian Robinson would. I think everyone on this team at this point, like they have gotten rid of or added people that are going to buy into the system, right? And I think I have a hard time believing that adding a running back at 29 is going to help us beat Philly. As much as I would love to see some more explosion and make things easier on Jaden, if that running back can't get out in space and be able to utilize that speed, we're back to square one. You know what I mean?
Let me ask you this: as far as like you say, add the running back at 29. Like the way I'm looking at things, man, I really think they looked at that last game of the season and they said, not saying we were outmatched, but just in certain areas we were outsized. You know what I mean? Like, and that could be outmatched. You know what I mean? Like, they went across the board 6'6", 6'6", 6'5", 6'7", 6'7". You know what I mean? That was their old line, minus Cam Jurgens going into that game. Cam Jurgens, 6'3" guy, you know what I mean? Things of that nature. But look at what we did on that D-line. How tall is Kinlaw? How big is Kinlaw? What, 6'4", 6'5"? Dedrick Wise, 6'4", 6'5". You know what I mean? Like, they added what I think they thought they needed to compete against those guys. And now with the young pups you drafting, it's just basically like you come in to, motivate or to, push these guys. Guess what? When your number get called, you go in there and this ball don't stop. You keep it going because guess what? Now we got a fresh rotation and things of that nature, man. So I really think they addressed a lot of things in the offseason, and they're looking at this draft as just pieces that's going to come in, compete, especially with the first 2 rounds, compete, help out, you know what I mean, things of that nature, man. So we're not at 55 points, man. We're not that far off from Philly, even in 1 year. We're not. If you ask me, we came into that game with 0 turnovers in the playoffs. We left out of that game with what, 3 or 4?
Yeah.
That wasn't us in the playoffs. You know what I mean? And they know that, man. So that's where I'm gonna leave it at, man. Some of these guys, they like they say, go back to last offseason. They saw the core that they wanted to build this team around. They saw it. And that core didn't include an Emmanuel Forbes that stay here or whatever it is. It's your Deron Paynes, it's your Sam Cosme's, just holdovers. Like maybe John Allen wasn't a core piece because they let him, test the market. You know what I mean? But they said things last year, and it's kind of reflecting this offseason. You know what I mean? With some of the pickups and stuff like that. So
yeah. Well, I think we all know in that NFC Championship game, the game ended. We've all played football.
yeah.
There's a demoralizing play that happens that has a ripple effect, and that Saquon Barkley touchdown run really put that demoralizing effect on it. And then the fumbles thereafter were catastrophic on top of it all. And I think that they kind of understood at that point they need more talent, and that talent doesn't necessarily mean on the offensive side of the ball. I think because we still put up 20-something points, even turning over the ball like 3 or 4 times. I think that it's defense is where we need to get back to, because last year it wasn't more so of adding a bunch of defensive kind of aspect. It was starters. It was adding Mikey. That's great. But it was we need to get in the trenches there younger as well. And obviously Johnny Newton added to the equation, but him coming in not healthy was a hard start for him. But adding some more than trenches, and especially some key defenders, is going to be huge for this football team.
Yes, absolutely agree.
Yeah. And another note I wanted to talk about as well is I know a lot of people were like, why are we keep signing a lot of these 1-year deals for a lot of these veterans and stuff? Because in my opinion, it keeps and it raises the floor for this team. You have guys that have been there and done that. You have guys that can heavily contribute as well. You got Dietrich Wise and Jonathan. Those guys play for the New England Patriots. They have the experience. They have the experience of winning. They won Super Bowls when Belichick was there the final couple of years. They understand what they're supposed to do. Jonathan Kinlaw is probably one of those guys that had a little bit of this concept, but they know what he's capable of under Adam Peters and stuff. So they'll go ahead and touch that. Yeah, if you have a question, Kyle.
No, it's just going to elaborate on the 1-year deals. It's brilliant because what Dan Quinn said in the introductory was, like it's not a redoing. It's just a renovation, basically, a recalibration. And if you are trying to win now, the only way that you can truly get there is with free agents and hitting on your top end draft picks, right? I think we can all agree on that. If you're trying to build from the ground up, meaning you're going to start out bad and then, like the Lions, get better each year, you do that primarily through the draft, and you clean up some spots through free agency. But the 1-year deals, I would almost equate it to blackjack. You know how when you're looking at what's provided to you and you tell them, hit me, you give me another card, give me another card. It's almost like that with this team, except you're allowed to take away cards as well. And so that's what they're essentially doing, is trying to hit that magic number, trying to beat the dealer while also taking away cards that aren't fitting or helping at the same time. I wish I could come up with a better comparison for that. But it's a smart, and I think that Adam Peters, he talked about this as his presser, he knows that they're going to have to continue doing those 1-year deals until they get the full foundation in place with those top-end starters. They started a little bit last year, of course, this year as well, but we have to be able to get some more picks. I don't think that you can really feel confident about that foundation with only 2 picks in the top 90, to be honest.
Listen, I know we in draft mode, but we did bring up that game, man. listen, because and I rewatched this game probably they replayed it like a little over a month ago on NFL Network, and I said, man, it looked bad.
NFL Network?
Yeah, they did.
That's nasty.
They hate us.
It was, but listen at this, right? Jaden walks in the touchdown with 5 minutes to go in the third quarter, 34-23.
It was still a game.
We kicked the ball off. Yeah, they had a 7-play drive, but guess what? They punted. We get the ball back. Eckler fumbles with 32 seconds left in the third.
Yeah.
At at their 49, bro. We're going in. We know you give me 30 to 34 at any point of that fourth quarter, it's a ball game. So we lost the first quarter, 14-3. Okay, all right. Second quarter, they got us 13-12. Third quarter, we got them 8-7. And it was the fourth quarter, 21-0. And it wasn't like they gave up or anything. It was just gut-wrenching, plays that happened in that fourth quarter. You know what I mean? Things that, yeah.
It's very similar to the first matchup against the Eagles. If we can remember that in the regular season, it was a very close kind of matchup, and it was that I think they realized this, and that's where it really comes down to man on man at that point. And we all know this, fourth quarter, that's what it truly comes down to, do your job. And it seems like that has been the recipe, or not recipe, but just what ended up happening each time against the Eagles was that little bit more that they had really took them over the top. It sucks, man, because you're right, because you want that extra quarter for them to be able to produce. But I'll say this, dude, going against the Super Bowl champs and losing that game in the fourth quarter, that says a lot after a 1 year turnaround, man. I mean, in your first year, that's incredible.
Yeah, I do.
Like, you don't come out like, oh my goodness. Let's continue, man. Let's continue. Oh man,
dude.
But this is gonna make us better though. Like the guys that played in that game that came back this season, the Bobby Wag, the Zach Ertz, it's gonna make this core that much better, man. So they know we gotta. I think ultimate goal is division first. Let's go out. Let's win this division. Let's get a home game for our fans. Once we in the playoffs, it's fair game, bro. Like any given Sunday, any given Saturday night, whenever they want to put this team on prime time in the playoffs, man. Go, Kyle. I think you wanted to say something.
No. I was just fixing my earpiece.
Okay.
You were cooking smoke. I'm sorry.
No, you good, man. But I'm just like, man, just the core that came back, man. I think it's gonna do wonders in year 2 of this phase right here, man. You know what I mean? So that's just why I wanted to leave it at. We can get on with the draft stuff. I know that's what people pulled up for. You know what I mean? Last draft show before the actual draft. So yeah, we can get there. I just had to get that off my chest, though.
Honestly, Smoke, that is a great way to start the last before the draft, because honestly, that should be your viewpoint, and to say, how can we be able to defeat that game? How can we change that fourth quarter? How can we be able to get over the top? And in my personal opinion, I don't think running back at 29 is how you get there. And I do think it's in the trenches and getting a special athlete to be able to help you in the trenches in those crunch times. The ultimate question is there going to be somebody there that is capable of doing that?
I see a guy on my screen right now.
Is it DT?
Oh, hey, DT. Hey, me and DT could probably go all day. What you got, DT? What you want, D tackle or D? Because I'm going D tackle. I need to be D tackle.
I'll go D tackle too, man. That's
I was literally
saying, get out the way.
I was literally saying DT the dude, like not a DT position.
I'm weak, yo. All right, let's continue with the show, man. So we got asked a question today, in the group chat. Wanted to talk about this real quick. Who are you guys' favorite players for the Washington Commanders?
You got it, Smoke.
Hold on, like current players or like
current player in the draft that you would love for the Washington Commanders?
Two of them. Oh, Donovan Azaraku, Donovan, and Luther Burton. But it goes in that order. If Donovan's there, I want him. Luther Burton, if he's there, I take him. You know what I mean? Those are my two guys right there. I love Donovan, though, man. I watched this guy so much, man, the last few weeks, and I'm like, he's still got another level that he could hit. And it's going to be scary when this dude, like his bend is there every play. Oh man, it's gonna get scary. It's gonna get scary with Donovan. I think no matter where he goes, he's gonna be solid in this league, man.
can I give like three or four?
Yeah,
Because the two guys that I picked for our thumbnail here was Jalen Knoll and Andrew Makuba. I think both of these guys will come onto this team and be able to produce day one. Andrew Makuba playing slot at Clemson didn't have the opportunities for turnovers. He goes to Texas, they move him to safety, and he's able to produce 7 interceptions this year. I think he had 41 solo tackles himself. And so, if you combine that safety room with what you have in Harris, with what you have in Quan Martin, who Quan Martin has a background in slot. So you can use those three safeties as basically just multiple DBs, and you can rotate that safeties down to line of scrimmage, either Andrew Makuba coming up playing slot, or you can rotate down Quan Martin to play in the slot, and then Will Harris moves to free, and Andrew moves to strong safety. And I think that would be a shoe-in fit for this football team. Andrew Makuba comes down into the blitz. He blitzes very well, relentless in that aspect, makes open field tackles, understands that he's the last line of defense, has perfect form tackles to be able to do that. There's other guys above him that are ranked that are not as good as this. And he's also a playmaker and being able to scoop up the football. Jalen Knoll, captain of Iowa State, ran a 4.39, 23 reps on the bench, one more bench press rep at the combine than Donovan Eziraku as a defensive end. So Jalen Knoll, sitting at 5'10", 190 pounds, put up 23 reps on the bench, showing that strength, which also correlates into blocking and being able to be an effort blocker. But he's a really good route runner. I've talked about this many times. He routed up Sebastian Castro in that game against Iowa, helped them win that football game. He's somebody who can stretch you vertically, horizontally. He was also used as a running back in some formations on trick plays and stuff like that. So I think Jalen Knoll is somebody in the second round, along with Andrew Makuba, who could really help this football team. The first round guys, I wholeheartedly agree with you about Donovan Eziraku. I think that his pass rush repertoire, what he has in his arsenal, and he does it in an intellectual, smart way where he sets things up. It's a lot like poker and being able to confuse your opponent into thinking something is happening. He calls it like his dead hand or something like that, where he shows his dead hand to think that he's going to go wide, and then he's able to hit the bull rush or come inside. So he has the intellect to play pass rush. He understands a natural football game of being a defensive end and having to win that poker matchup with the offensive lineman. I think Donovan is somebody that could easily come onto this football team and be able to rush in a multitude of ways. The other one is Mike Green. I really hope Mike Green falls. I would love to put Jahdae Barron here and say I would run up to the podium naked with that draft pick card if Jahdae Barron fell, but he's not going to. He's going to go in the top half. But if I'm going to say anybody, it's Mike Green, Andrew Makuba, Donnie E, and then Jalen Knoll.
Speaking of Barron, Daniel Jeremiah's mock just dropped his final mock. He has Jahdae Barron going to us. So
No way.
Hey, he close to Peters, so that's a home run pick. I'm just saying.
Take my shirt off.
Okay. But we'll talk about that later. But anyway, my players, I'm gonna do 2.5 as well. First one will be again Mike Green / Donovan Izaraku. I feel like those two guys will definitely fit the need of what we need over here in Washington. Both guys that have the ability to stand up, be edge rushers. You can move them around. They have a pass rush repertoire, and they definitely have a ceiling that still hasn't been untapped. Ezraku played 4 years, and Mike Green was a former wide receiver. So who's to know? Like, there's some things that he could still reach into his bag. Perfect Dan Quinn style defensive ends for this defense. And then the second guy I would absolutely love for this team would be Travion Henderson. When we're talking about the max running game and the receiving game, just a home run ability, we haven't really had that in much a while. And Travion Henderson brings that. He brings that ability where some people think he lacks inside the inside run game. He's very sneaky with that. He can be better at certain spots. I think he can be better at the NFL level. But when there's a crease, he's going to be gone. When you see Brian Robinson hit those creases, he's not going to be able to have the ability to go all the way into the end zone. Travion Henderson provides that, and he also provides the ability to be an three down back. He don't have to take him off the field. So when you're talking about a guy that can provide in a receiver game and the running game and block for your quarterback, that's the perfect running back you want to go with a Jay Daniels. His running ability, when you had the read option, the GD counters, and much more in the run game that can be unlocked with a Trayvon Henderson.
I like that. I like that. DT, I just put a picture in the chat. Who
All
is
right.
who is the guy to the left? Is that Herbert? Herbig?
That probably is him. This probably is
Because I
Herbing.
see Cosme. You see Cosme, right?
Yeah, I
So
see Cosby.
that's
I
a good
don't
sign.
think
That's a
That's
that's.
good
Luke.
sign.
Let me pull it up for you guys. Oh wait, I gotta take this off.
What's his first name? Nate, right? Or
Nate
Nick?
Herbig.
I
Nate, I
think
think
it's
it.
Nate.
Nick is the linebacker, his brother.
Yeah, he plays
Nate,
for Pittsburgh,
yeah,
I believe.
yeah. Nate Herbig.
No, that's
That's
not her big.
that's not.
That
Who
might
is
be what's that dude? The backup center,
Dieter?
Dieter.
Dieter?
He was. Well, he is kind of standing on a higher platform than the other ones. I was just like, hold on, like this dude looks huge.
Oh yeah,
Because
I see what you're saying.
I see Wiley, you know what I mean? Is that's Snacks right there beside Wiley, right?
Yeah,
Isn't
that's
that
Senate.
Senate?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Senate.
There Cosme, Luke, that's Allegretti. Who's the other one beside Luke?
I don't think. Yeah, that's not her big.
You know what I think that is? I think that might be Yankov.
There's no
Oh,
way.
beside Luke?
Yeah,
Okay.
Oh, beside
Okay.
Luke.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
that might be
My
Yankov.
quarterback room in there. My quarterback room is in there. Yeah, like this. But yeah, hey. So now I just saw it on my timeline. I was like, man, this guy looks huge. Like, who is that?
Jaden is a smart dude. He got the right jersey, and a lot of them are wearing the right jersey.
Mm-hmm.
The old school cap jerseys are the best. I wish it was the one with the actual eagle on it.
Yeah, yeah.
That was the one I grew up with, and I love that jersey.
But my bad on derailing, but yeah.
Oh
So
no, you
we're
good,
back.
you good.
This is important. This pertains to it.
It, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I definitely did not know who that guy was. All right. So let's do this before we go ahead and do our mock draft. Trade
Real
talk.
quick. Real
Oh,
quick.
real
Sam
quick.
Cosme could totally play Alex Ovechkin in like a movie. If you look at him in that picture, dude, he looks like he could be Alex Ovechkin in a movie.
That's crazy.
Sorry, DT.
Okay. Oh,
And
It
here we go.
just came up.
It really
Luke
got.
looked like he about 12, man. Luke.
Oh, Derek did said it's Yankov.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Okay.
All right. The final piece before we go ahead and do this mock draft. Rumors. Um, Today, obviously, there's been a swirl of rumors around. We just got to be careful what we believe and what not to believe. But obviously, we know with our inferior rival, New York Giants and the Cleveland Browns, they are expected, and New Orleans Saints, I'll also add, they are expected to take the top talent at the board, but not neither of them would be a quarterback. So AP talked about this yesterday in his presser that he has absolutely no problem with trading with a division rival. No fear, I should say, trade with a division rival, knowing that he's able to get the compensation and get the players that he feels like fits what they want to do. And we saw that last year twice with the Philadelphia Eagles, because not only did they trade it back and they were able to get a guy like Cooper DeJean, we were able to pick up Sandra Still Ben Sinnott. We also traded away Jahan Dotson, which they declined his fish out today, and we used that third round pick and turned that into a Laramie Tunsil.
Mm.
So I ask you guys this: when it comes to trades, knowing that the value of this draft is more than likely going to be pretty similar with a bunch of players when it gets to around the middle of the draft, heading to the tail end of the first round. Ask you guys individually, would you trade back and gain more picks, or if the talent is there, you go ahead take your guy, and then you find other ways to compensate picks? Yes or no?
I would s- I would say it depends. It depends on what is offered, right? So Adam Peters is incredibly smart, right? If you look at the draft order, the Giants are sitting on the top tier, right? So is the Browns. They're sitting on the top tier of the selections. The Saints are about 5 selections behind them, right? Well, Adam Peters saying that he would be more than willing to be able to trade with a divisional partner would almost, in a way, be like psychological warfare against the Saints to say, this other team that's in front of you wants to move up. And if you want to move up, you better up the ante if that is the case. Now, if the Saints, because the Saints have a plethora amount of mid-round picks, we know that in those middle rounds, Adam Peters and company could cook. They could get some very good guys in here. And I'm not saying that trading back is going to be able to truly help you in being able to get the top tier talent that you need to get. But I trust this coaching staff to put those players in a position to be, obviously, if I already talked about Jalen Noel and Andrew Makuba, you need more in that second round if you're going to do that. Well, the Saints better come packing in that sense. I would, if a top tier talent falls to you at 29, you make the move. But the Saints or somebody have to offer you something that you cannot refuse. It has to be at that level. I think Adam Peters is doing a really good job at that.
Yeah, I'm kind of right there, man. Like, especially if you're trying to come back into the first round to get my 29, you got to give me something worth my while. You know, what I mean, things of that nature. We know Adam Peters has this history of cooking up. As far as moving forward, if a guy, because I think in that part of that interview, he said something like, "Oh, if Abdul Carter is sitting there at 27, yeah, I'm picking up the phone." You know what I mean? But we know that's not going to happen. We all, everyone knows that's go ahead, guy.
I brought this up on the show today. I'm sorry to cut you off. I talk too much.
No,
But
no, you good.
that was a tell to me, Smoke,
Hmm.
because he said Abdul Carter, who was a D end, a very good pass rusher, a speed pass rusher, gets at the quarterback quickly. He didn't say Ashton Jeanty falling to 27. He didn't say Travis Hunter falling to 27. I'd make that move. I think they are very, very invested in getting a defensive end here. And I think that
Mm,
was a slight tell. Out of
yeah.
all the prospects that he could have highlighted and said, he specifically brought up Abdul Carter, who is a speed rusher.
Mm. Yeah, and I
Yeah.
kind of thought that when I heard that yesterday. So when it comes to moving up, um, hey, if this guy has that, what they call them, gold stars that he put beside certain guys, and you know the team isn't trying to fleece us because right now we're already down second and fourth next year. You know what I mean? And so you do we want to continue to sign these 1 year contracts and further the development of the core or the foundation of this team? Or do you want to kind of, say what we can stay pat or rather just move back a little bit? Like me, for example, if I'm at 29 in a team call, I'm not going past, I said 42 about 3 weeks ago. I'm not going past 38. I'm not going past 38 in a trade back situation.
I agree.
You know what I mean? So I don't mind it, but at the same time, I'm just like, I got to think about next year as well because, like I say, yeah, we used the third this year to get Tunsil, but we also use a second and a fourth next year too. You know what I mean? So I don't mind the trades, man. I'd rather trade back than go up, though. That if I had to be greedy, you know what I mean? Like let me stingy a little bit, I should say. If I had to be stingy, I'd rather go back than go forward. But if he got that guy sitting there at 24, 25, and it's not going to cost us a future first, it may cost us, you know what I mean, a player or a later pick, you know what I mean, whatever it is. I'm not going to mind it. I'm not going to mind because that's who they want.
Yeah. Um, for me, when we talking about trading back and gaining picks, like obviously, I do understand the pros about it because if you gain picks, you're the ability to add more talent to this team that has been avoided at certain spots. But we also have to understand quality over quantity might also be in play for a lot of teams on concepts because you can get as many picks as you want, but the guarantee of those guys going to be hitting consistently is really bare to none because some of these guys that you think will be a starter, they're more than likely going to be a backup or a guy that'll contribute or not even make the team. We say so. I think even with these 5 picks that we have, if all these players are graded the same, but there's one guy that sticks out, I feel like they're going to take that guy. And I know a lot of people are going to say, well, we need to get younger. We need to add more guys. Like, that's rightfully so. There is some case that we need to add more youth to this. But we also added at least 8 to 9 players last year. And at least, I would say, 4 of them heavily contributed. Obviously, with Jaden Daniels, Micah Sanders still, Brandon Coleman. You still have some guys that have some potential to be tapped, like a Jazon Newton and
Tyler
the
Owens,
linebacker we drafted last year. There's still some
Jordan
guys,
McGee.
Jean Baptiste, even, you know what I mean, year two, getting a little bit more like
Gene
he was in.
Baptiste.
Yeah, he was in critical moments last year in games. You know what I mean? He was a 7th round pick.
So you look at the draft class last year and having 5 picks, that's still a good certain amount of young players. That you also have to count undrafted free agency. We did outstanding job last year with undrafted free agency last year, noting Tyler Owens contributed a lot on special teams, but he could also have a role some shape or form this year. So I think for me, if the offer is very rich, you take it, but
Hmm.
quality over quantity for the Washington Commanders.
So I know you had brought up like the Giants, Browns, Saints, as far as like, you know what I mean, them possibly moving and things of that nature. But have y'all been seeing player movement the last 2 days as well on actual draft day? Like I've been seeing stuff from George Pickens to Kirk Cousins to, you know what I mean, things of that
Yeah,
nature. You know what I mean? And so, I mean, and out of the names I saw, like people say we need a crash out somewhere. George Pickens is very interesting to me. Like, not saying I want him, you know what I mean, but I'm just saying, like, what would be 29 is too rich. Like, that's out the window. You're not
mhm.
getting 29 for George Pickens. Is 61 too rich for George?
I'll raise you another question. My
Mm.
co-host Mike Hall brought up a fantastic point today.
Ooh.
He said, "What if Washington were to lose out on a dominant edge rusher in the first round? They went down another route. Well, who's to say that in that second to third round they don't call Cincinnati?"
Mm.
And I was like, "Whoa!" I was
I
like,
like
"Okay,
that.
that's
I like
totally
that.
possible." And look, I George Pickens is. I thought he was one of the best wide receivers in that draft class. I'll personally say that. But obviously, if you play your way out of Pittsburgh, it's typically a ticking time bomb.
Yeah.
We saw that with AB, and typically guys at Pittsburgh, they get drafted by Pittsburgh. They don't allow them to walk for no reason. Typically, there's something going on. We know this about George. George is outspoken. He's very boisterous. You see his mannerisms, his body style. Um, it's just I'm not sure if that's going to mesh.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's where I'm at with it. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I
So
mean? I'm all about the meshing part. But go ahead. My bad,
yeah.
DB.
So I would ask myself if we were in consideration about the George Pickens. Obviously, um, he was drafted way before these guys now, but if he was in this class at the age that he came in the NFL draft, where would he rank between these wide receivers? And I know that George Pickens, at the time before injury, he was highly touted in NFL draft circles. So that could be something I'll consider. I'll definitely will be welcome for it. But I'm also like Kyle because, and I do understand that Pittsburgh has a history with some of these antics, especially at the wide receiver spot with Antonio Brown and Juju Smith-Schuster and stuff. And then also when we talk about just in game about him finishing plays, running routes, like I mean, you're going to go head into a different environment and different culture that, quite frankly, I don't think they'll need to tolerate it because knowing these guys, they have a taste of being in the NFC Championship fresh off. Pittsburgh has struggled mightily to even get into the playoffs. Now, of course, that's in them being in a tougher division, but still, though, these guys already have the mindset. Like, can you match their mindset with theirs? That's going to be the point when I talk about George Pickens, because you cannot match your mindset to where, hey, we have bigger aspirations than you trying to get 100 catches and 1,500 yards and 11 to 12 touchdowns and things of that nature. Quite frankly, we don't need you. I much rather just draft
Mm-hmm.
a guy like a Xavier Restrepo or a Trey Harris, or the guys that have a commander's mindset.
Yeah, he's the guy. I know I brought him up, but I think when he gets paid, that's the career.
Mm.
That's what he's shown me. That's what he's shown me. Like he and I understand. Like he hasn't had the best quarterback situations in Pittsburgh. You know
That's
what I mean? But and the griping he's doing, okay, yeah, you are looking like the only wide receiver that's out there really running routes and should get all the target share and stuff like that. But what is that doing for the team, bro? So now it seems like he's looking at, okay, well, what George got drafted in the third round, second, third round,
I
like
believe it was third round.
third round. So the contract isn't as great. He's like, hold on. So my contract is going to go off the production. So I kind of had this mindset last year with another player. When the Jets picked up Devontae Adams, I say, oh, Garrett Wilson, like, man, it's going to eat into my production. How can I go to the table and say, this is what I'm worth if you just bought this guy in that's eating into my production? But guess what? It only lasted a half a season. Now, Wilson can go out there and prove, like, hey, I'm a number one receiver. George Pickens, you got to go out there and fight with DK Metcalf now. Not saying DK Metcalf is a 10, 12 target guy a week, but at the same time, he wants the ball just like you. So
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I just think when George, if someone made that trade for George and they offered him that $30+ million contract, I don't think he's going to worth it. So it goes back to Kyle. I think if we made that call to a Cincinnati for Trey Hendricks, it's going to be worth that contract.
Yeah.
And that's just where I'm at with it.
I
If
just
I'm
know it was a second round pick.
Pittsburgh shouldn't trade him. They shouldn't trade him.
Mm-hmm.
Go down with the ship. You drafted him. Go down with the ship and see what goes on. I think this is a great play by Tomlin to flex on George. I'm sure George was talking a lot last season about how good he is and all that. So they brought in somebody who's better at what he does, and that's the vertical threat, big body guy. And this guy isn't going to be complaining, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so if I'm doing anything, I'm telling him to sit put and enjoy and watch somebody do it better.
Yep.
So my problem is, like, for Pittsburgh, like, you trade him, like, you really don't have no offense. You don't have a quarterback. You let Najee Harris go. I mean, some people are probably happy about that. Um, you DK and Pickens, while they are some strong personalities, they do provide some production for this offense that is
Right.
drastically needed. And I don't think, I mean, well, they do have a history of drafting receivers, but who's to say that that guy will have the same production as George Pickens? So I don't really see the trade, but I do see him getting paid in some sorts. But
Mm-hmm.
he will only intrigue me if his mindset changed. But a Trey Henderson, for the short term would definitely interest me if we miss out on some of the edge rushers early.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Yep. It's good talk, people. It's
Where
good talk.
Deuce at?
Man, we good without Deuce today.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying. He's
DT
scheduled this.
holding it down. Good job, DT.
Good job, DT. You're doing a fantastic job.
You're doing a
Appreciate it.
fantastic
But
job.
yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get started. This is our final mock draft before tomorrow night. We're gonna go ahead and get started.
Does this allow trades to be brought to you?
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, Ian Hartitz put up his first round mock, and he didn't have Mike Green going in the first round.
Okay, it's chalk. Tyler Warren. Whoa. I saw that at 5. Let me blow my screen up a little bit. All right, there we go. Mike Green just went to the Packers. Out of
Yeah,
Cox
Ja
to the
Day right
big league.
after him.
Mm.
Nick Scorton.
Seen a
Yeah.
couple of trades up
Nick
here.
even Rory to the Dolphins. Okay, so
All
they
right,
ain't got
so
to worry
we are
about
here.
that.
We have. Let's hide this real quick. So right now, top of the board, we have a Josh Simmons. We have James Pierce, Omarion Hampton, Donovan Izuraku, Trey Amos, Josh Conley, Luther Burden. So we have a plethora of guys at this spot. Sitting here at
Mhm.
29, able to pick either the best player on the board for Commanders, or we look at these draft trades. So we have one draft trade, Detroit trying to trade back into the first round, offering
Mm.
pick 60, 102, a second round the next year, and a fifth round the next year.
There's that second rounder smoke next year.
Yeah. All right, let's see the next one.
Next one, we have pick 50,
This
52,
is
and 175 for
Seattle
Seattle
got
Seahawks.
Seattle got like 6 picks in the mid rounds
Yeah.
or more. Like if I go on to 50,
And the last one is Arizona pick 47 in the second round of next year.
You know, if they called us with that trade, I would tell them that Adam Peters is not in the room at the moment. You got to call back later.
let's just pick Donovan, man. That's where I'm at with it, man. That guy's there, bro. He's there.
That's where we at.
We should have the conversation. I'm with you on Donovan. It's just you got Connerly there, you got Josh Simmons is there as well.
Simmons, though, man.
Yeah. Can we all agree that the best case scenario for Washington is being able to get after the quarterback in order to beat Philly?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Or to be Philly and whoever else we out there with. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because the one question I've been bringing up to everybody is what went wrong in that game? Was it us not being able to move the ball downfield on offense, or was it us not being able to stop them, defend us on defense?
Mm-hmm. At that edge, Donovan as a rocker, if you ask
Set
me.
an edge and get to the
Mm-hmm.
quarterback.
Yep. Mm.
All right, so it looks like we're all in agreement right here. So,
Marion Hampton still in. Oh my goodness.
yeah, but
I know.
as much as I love Omarion and I love Travion, I don't see them trying to push that need so early when it's so deep at
Yeah.
this spot.
Mm-hmm.
That's what she said.
Hey,
Wow. Wow,
yo.
that really
Get Donovan and let's keep moving.
okay. That really just happened.
Sorry, man. That just that's
All
my
right, so
construction
with
humor coming out.
the 29th pick, we will select Donovan Izaraku.
I like it, boys.
All right, so now we head to pick 61. This is possible. You know, we just talked about it earlier. Possible, trade back scenario. I mean, I think right here, we're at 61. We got our top edge rusher. I'm thinking corner wide receiver.
Let's see what rolls out here.
So we have one trade with
85. That 85 is third round. Right?
yes. Now here's the thing we also got to keep in mind too. I would also suspect Adam Peters would love to gain some picks for next year.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Pick 85 be third round, and we don't currently have a third round pick.
The only issue being is that you lose the second rounder and you give up a seventh rounder, which would mean we'd only have 4 picks overall in this draft
Yeah.
just to gain a third and fourth next season.
Mm-hmm.
You're absolutely
Let's see what the next trade is.
Next trade will be with the New York Giants.
Here go
We
your
would give up
scenario.
61 and pick 205 for 99 and 105. So that means and a third round pick next year. So that means you will have
That's a late third, early fourth.
3 picks in the 130.
Yeah.
Because we'll have pick 99, 105, and pick 128.
Because that 61 to 128 is like, whoo.
That's a large gap.
Can you scroll down for me? The players available.
So as the players available, it looks like they're trying to get a quarterback with Jalen Milroe right here. We have Mason Taylor, Caleb Johnson, Ariante Ursary, Darius Alexander, Tate Ratledge, Olu Odejo, Alfred Collins, Braden Switson, Darian Porter, Andrew Makuba, Kyle Williams, Harold Fanning Jr. So it's definitely some guys right here.
Ooh.
I don't want to trade out of this.
I don't want to trade out of this either. But now it's
All right, let's go back to the trade offer.
for the Giants or for Denver.
Yeah, the Denver one sucks. I would entertain this, but the issue is, oh man, we'd be missing
I would counter.
Yeah, let's see if we can counter. What they got? What do the Giants have?
They only have 4 picks left.
Oh.
And we only have 4 picks left. But those 2 picks, we would have remaining in the 3rd and 4th round. So you would have 2 picks in the 4th round, 1 in the 3rd round.
Mm-hmm.
And then you lose 205, and they would. It's just, I can't pass up on some of the guys I see up here that would instantly start.
Who you got in mind, BT?
Yeah,
let's scrap this trade.
Let me put this now. So I see.
Hang up on Joe Shane.
So I see. Ursary kind of intrigues me.
Mm-hmm.
He could be a guy to challenge for the right tackle spot. Tate Ratledge would intrigue me.
Oh yeah, he's a natural guard.
Alfred Collins, big defensive tackle, helping the run defense. Darian Porter and Andrew Makuba.
I like that Makuba Cowboy.
And also Kevin Winston Jr.
There's 3 guys.
I like Makuba over Winston, only because of the injury stuff.
I think I would go DB here.
I'd go Andrew Makuba.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Go Andrew Makuba.
The only issue with Winston is the injury history.
Yeah.
What was the?
I know that he's highly regarded. I know he's highly regarded. But with Darian Porter, you're talking about a raw prospect at corner. You love the speed, 6'4", 200 pounds. Obviously in zone, he is a former track guy, former wide receiver. I know they love that. But Makuba, you could insert right away.
Just
look
look
to
at
the top of the corners again.
So corners would be Darian Porter, Jacob Parrish, Dorian Strong, Denzel Burnside, Alexander, Noah Williams, Jordan Hancock, Kobe Bryant, Quincy Riley.
I'm going Makuba because of the versatility of Quan.
Yeah.
Don't forget, the versatility of, are they going to put Jones, Igbo, or Mikey in the slot? Like, it's so, go Makuba. Because now it's like, I could put a lineup out there, man, that back end could wreak some havoc.
I really wish that we could trade back out of this for like maybe 5 or 10 spots. But for the fact that like both of them, it's like us trading back 20 or 30, like the guys that we want that could use on this defense and this team, they're going to be gone by then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm going with Makuba.
Yeah, go Makuba, man.
You guys okay with that?
Yeah, I'm okay with
it.
Yeah. Because I there's still some corners that I like. I don't have to press the need to try to get Darian Porter.
Now we got to wait to the 4th. Oh, Patriots got Ravens got Darian Porter. Of course they did.
And they drafted TJ Tampa last year.
Yeah. I love TJ Tampa. That was my boy.
What happened with him? He got hurt?
Yeah, he got hurt. He got hurt and he didn't. He only played special teams, but they're expecting him to play this year.
Okay.
Remember, he fell like a crazy amount.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
Because there was reports of him being like a second rounder in all these mock drafts and everything, and he fell. I don't think
Will
anybody ever
Howard just
actually
went
said why.
to the Will Howard went to the Jaguars. Ooh, they might be really trying to get on.
Damn,
Savion
San
this
Fran
year.
got Demetrius Knight. That's such a good pick.
Dale did.
Okay, so we have no trade offers.
Mhm.
So I think it right here, running back or corner.
What's the running back?
You have Ollie
Ollie.
Gordon, Dylan Sampson, R.J. Harvey, Devin Neal, Kyle
Do me a
Mugger,
favor. Can you look at wide receivers?
wide receivers. Pat Bryant, Isaac Tesla, Jalen Lane, Nick Nash, Isaiah Bond, Andrew Armstrong, Ricky White, Darian Smith.
What's Jalen Lane's rank? 165. What are we at right now? 120.
We're at 128. Good roster score too. So let me look at the corners though. Quincy Riley is someone we saw a lot during the pre-draft.
Mhm.
And I know that he has punt return capability.
Mhm.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
5'10", about a
Yeah.
good 190. He's somebody that I think to me it'll be between. Also, this guy is sneaky as well.
Corey Black.
Corey Black, he's very sneaky.
I know he is. What's wrong?
Those probably your top two corners considered. Then wide receiver. If I look at wide receiver, Pat Bryant provides size. Jalen Lane provides special team ability. That's something I would consider.
I know Pat Bryant is a big dude.
Andrew Armstrong, a big dude as well.
Yeah.
Hold on, click on Arian Smith. I know, I just maybe for later though.
If he didn't have bad hands,
Yes, he's the one that was dropping all the passes, right? Like this season.
yeah.
Like yeah, that was bad. Cause man,
But John Gruden
he
was
can
just talking about
separate,
him
though.
recently, how good he was, and that's his guy
He
for
can
this draft.
separate, but he drops the daggone ball.
He drops the football, man.
Hey, data tells you that separation and speed is all that matters.
Go to running back again.
I know.
I don't want no Ollie. To me, it's Dylan Sampson or RJ, but I don't know.
I actually think it. Yeah, I agree. But they want someone that can play all three downs.
Can you go to tackle?
Hey, I know Kyle Manungai. He, that dude run hard, bro.
My guy Belton.
Oh yeah, Anthony Belton, man. That's a good
I'm
one.
kind of feeling Belton here, bro.
Yeah, I like Belton. I like Belton.
You move him to guard.
Whew. Yeah, this might be the tough one right here, y'all.
Go to Belton again. Go to his and click on his little information.
Belton,
He's like
he's
6'6",
very
right? Yeah, 6'6", 336.
and Logan Paulson. He loves this guy.
Go Anthony Belton. That's my final say. So I think I can get another back. UDFA.
I think so too.
All right. Hey, DT, you played you played O-line, right?
Yeah,
Did you watch Belton's game against Tennessee?
I did after you told me.
Okay. How awesome was that?
Yeah,
He
told me that.
James Pierce.
It wasn't just James Pierce. Like James Pierce went against him sometimes, but I'm telling you, like there's one play, Smoke, where he's at tackle and nobody's rushing on him. The two DT and the DN are both coming in, converging on the guard. And he steps back in his pass set and then just like decides, he's like, you know what? Screw these guys. And he just takes his right shoulder into the D end. And the force he hits the D end with knocks him into the DT, and they both fall down.
Oh, my God. Give me Belton. And you say, like, he possibly could be a guard, man. Like, just because. And some people are like, well, we don't want guards that's tall. Like, no, this is a new NFL, man. My quarterback's 6'5".
We're going with Anthony Belton.
Yeah,
and the one thing we have to say is that game against Clemson was his worst, but that was against speed rushers on the outside. He couldn't be able to recover in time against those guys. It was a horrible game for him. But if you're moving him to guard, I think you feel great about it because you don't have to worry about the speed rush.
Isn't that kind of outside of injury, but isn't that kind of what was Becton's problem? The speed rushers?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, go Belton. Go Anthony Belton right there.
All right, so
we sure.
I'm positive.
We're going to go with Anthony Belton, tackle out of NC State.
See,
so
by
now
us by us not having a third and a fifth, we at that situation to where even though this may have him ranked 135, it could be somebody sitting at 150 that we may got to look at pick 128. You know what I mean? Because we don't have that fifth. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So you really got to comb through the board and stuff like that, man. So,
hey, DT, I'm going to send you that video of Belton just so you could show, so Smoke can see it himself. And everybody, if you can put it on here.
All right, down to our final two picks.
It's crazy.
RJ Harvey still there. Devin Neal still there.
This is the overall, or that's just
offense?
That's offense.
All right, I just sent it into the group chat.
Okay, let me see.
So we're kind of an interesting position, guys, because you're down to 205 and 245, and Deuce is not up here. I'm not taking the kicker.
Mm-hmm.
We just going to decide a kicker in free agency. It's got to decide a kicker in free agency, dog.
Ooh,
all right,
that's nasty.
Dude, that's gross. Can you play that video on here just so we could see what we just drafted?
Yeah, I can play.
All right, so we at 205 now.
Yeah.
Hang on, let me.
Oh, my bad, DT.
No, you good.
What bag on? Cut on.
All right. Oh wait, hang on. I gotta change. I gotta stop the screen. Present. Share. All right, here we go.
Man, too close. Yeah, this is nasty. Goodness.
Punish him.
He put that shoulder into him.
Look at their helmets.
And I like the fact he didn't have to get all the way back in his pass set to see that. He kind of saw it, like as soon as he took that one step back, he was like, oh, this guy not coming? I'm going to go attack the inside. That's, oh my goodness, he saw that. That's keeping your hand on the swivel.
Turn the guys to bubbleheads, man.
Dude, that was, watch their helmets.
I don't want that running back to protect my quarterback, though. Goodness gracious, what is he doing?
That's so nasty.
That's nasty, though.
Yeah, nasty. I like the pick. I ain't gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good value pick.
Yeah, it was.
All right, so here it is. This is where it get interesting. We are here at pick 205, and got a proposition for you guys. So,
okay,
running backs. We have Jacquez Hunter, my guy Todd Brooks, LaQuint Allen, Raheem Sanders, Trevor Etienne, Ja'Cory Croskett Merritt.
That's who they really talk to a lot, right? The guy from
Mm-hmm.
Arizona.
And
I can't
wide
pass on Taj
receiver,
Williams.
though, Isaiah Bond,
Mm.
Arian Smith, Kobe Hudson, Jimmy Horn, Ja'Cory Brooks, and it's Rock Taylor. Rock Taylor is a guy they visited a lot,
Yeah,
and
that was a lot earlier on, though, right?
yeah.
Like with
But we
Rock.
also have Jalen Smith right here, a guy we highly looked at.
So far we went edge,
Edge,
second one,
safety, tackle.
edge safety tackle.
I think you're onto something, DT, with Jalen Smith. Can you look at his measurables real quick based on
5'10", 187. But versatility at box safety, free safety, slot corner, outside corner. But we also would have these two speedsters. Either you take the guy who can catch at times, but got weird history going on right now, or the guy that's very
Freak.
atrocious at catching.
what do you mean about weird history? This is news to me. What is it?
Oh, you ain't heard about the Bond stuff? What about the
Oh my
sexual
goodness.
allegations?
No, I did not know about this.
Yeah, that just popped up. What it popped up like a couple weeks ago?
Last week,
Yeah.
early last week.
Yeah, and his
He got
attorney
He
had
Shannon
offered I think he offered like $10K to keep her quiet.
Yep.
But,
So it's just like Shannon Sharp.
Nah, this one like this one they like they both nasty, but man, Bond is off my board, man. Bond is off my board.
DT, I'm really feeling Arian Smith.
You feeling Arian? I think to me it's Arian Smith or Jalen Smith.
Go Arian and see if we can get. I mean, go Jalen and let's see if Arian falls to that
He's
245.
206. We're going to 245.
Mm-hmm.
I doubt it. We still need running back too.
Hey, I like Taj Brooks, man.
Can we look at Taj Brooks real fast?
He's a little ball. 5'9", 214.
And they said bowling ball of a back, yeah.
He talked highly of Cliff. Haven't really met Cliff, but he talked highly of Cliff. Stuff like that. So
the three running backs I would look at would be Taj, Raheem Sanders, and Ja'Cory Proctor Merritt. But I think we can get running back with the last pick.
Okay.
I
agree. I agree with you. Because Marcus Yarns is also there as well. We could go with the last pick.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's not going to get drafted.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Go Jalen here and see what comes available between that running back.
The only thing is,
receiver.
We have to be able to replicate Diami Brown's speed, right? We still need speed offensively from a wide receiver aspect. Now, would we have to depend on Arian Smith? Not really, but you could force him into lineup if he works himself into it. Because I need that speed.
If you want speed, I can also offer you Keandre Lambert Smith, Cam Chancellor's nephew.
Is it really?
Yeah, that's Cam Chancellor's nephew.
Oh, wow.
From Norfolk.
What's his ranking?
They got him 283.
Why didn't he go to Virginia Tech? What's wrong? Well, come on, man.
He went to Penn State. Then he transferred to Auburn.
So that's what he did wrong. He went to state. What do you think it Smoke?
I like the corner.
I like corner here too. But Dotson does provide a little bit more size. Mm.
I think DQ like versatility. I just go back to a few years ago.
It's a production though.
But the way he used like a Marquise Bell. Marquise Bell isn't no real linebacker. But he made him one.
All right, let me do this real quick.
You see what linebacker there too. Hold on.
I got you. Jeffrey Bossa, Kobe King, Kyler Oliver, Nick Martin. That's Ryan Fowler's guy.
Yep.
Aaron Smith and
Oh,
Jalen
that's
Walker.
the South Carolina State dude?
Yeah, Aaron Smith.
But he only like 5'11", right? I think he's a little smaller. Let me see. Whenever you get a chance. If this the guy I'm thinking about.
What do you say?
I think he's only like is he like 5'11"?
It
Oh,
says
he's 6 foot. Okay.
Yeah, he might be 5'11". I ain't gonna lie. Might be 5'11".
Yeah, because when I saw him, like I was like, man, that dude ain't no bigger than London Fletcher. That's what. So yeah, but yeah, I like corner at this position. I like corner.
Hey man,
because we already went. Well, I don't know, man.
Dawson got some production. He played alongside with Kobe Bryant.
I click on him.
He's 6 foot 192. Well, it says 6'1" right here. So, but he has, let me see, 12 interceptions through 5 years. And 4 touchdowns return in his career. I might lean with Melo over Jalen Smith. Especially he could play outside.
And he's a pure outside corner.
Yeah. I think we have to me we have enough guys that can play inside.
Yeah.
Outside is what's gonna concern me.
Mm-hmm.
And we know with DQ and we know with them they don't necessarily have to have a top tier guy at that spot because we seen what's the kid from Dallas? Not Bland. Bland was like a day 3 guy and he was all pro. He also had the pass rush too, but that's another story. I'll take Melo Dotson, dog. To me, it's Melo Dotson or Arian Smith.
Hold on 1 second. Let me see something. And a lot of people high on Kobe, right?
Yeah, Kobe is the most well-known corner,
Mm-hmm.
but he played on the opposite side. It's like when what's his name, Sauce Gardner came out, and then you had the other Kobe Bryant, but they turned him to a safety now in the league.
Go to DT real quick.
Defensive tackle.
Yeah.
Cam Jackson, Tonga Hemingway, Vernon Broughton, Kyle Hamilton.
That might be the value. But it say he accepts an exceptional zone corner. Brings physicality.
That's for Melo?
Yeah.
What are you reading that off of?
He had 32 consecutive starts. I'm on hold on. Wait, hold on. Where am I at? Because I just Googled his name. So hold on 1 second.
We would
What the heck?
already have forfeited our pick.
I knew you were going to say that.
Hold on, my thing on iPad froze. Hold on.
Is
Dang, hold
Cam
on.
Jackson that 400-pound dude?
No, I think that's the other guy.
Yeah, go with Milo, man. Go with him. Get that outside corner.
Yeah, I would go Melo.
I won't disagree here as long as we get running back at the back end. Running back or wide receiver. And possibly even linebacker with Nick Martin there.
All right, so we're going to take Melo Dotson, and let's see who remains left on the board.
Willie Lampkin went to the Ravens.
Taj Brook went to New England.
LaQuint Allen went to the Steelers.
Sanders went.
To Colts.
Ariel went to Houston.
Right before us, too. No Phil Maffa.
My guy is right there.
Yeah, yep. And go to receiver. So we know Jacoby. All right, receiver.
Elijah Badger played with Jaden at Arizona State.
Yeah.
Then he transferred to Florida. Keandre will probably be the one guy that intrigues me in terms of speed. Isaiah Naylor, he has a crazy ROS score.
Look at that.
6'4", 218. And he ran to 4.4.
Come on, iPad. Work with me one time.
Meanwhile, let me pull out my guy. Have you seen film on him, Kyle?
No, on Jacory?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Dude, there were so many running backs.
No, you literally don't. You got to go back to when they had Michael Wiley beside him. That's what I was catching. You know, Michael Wiley.
He wasn't there when Michael Wiley was there, though. He transferred from New
there.
Mexico State.
He wasn't. Hold on.
He transferred from New Mexico State. And
what the heck was I looking at then with beside Michael
How
Wiley?
do you know this, DT?
How I know this? Because it was a big story because he transferred to Arizona, but he got ruled ineligible to play this year. So he only played one game.
It was somebody when I was looking at Michael Wiley, and I was like, "Who is this?" Because this was like, and then I know he got ruled ineligible this year, but I thought it was him, bro. Like, hold on.
That RAS score is insane for that wide receiver, but I'm smelling what you're smoking here with Jacory.
You see the group chat?
No.
We met with him.
Check the group chat real quick. I'm gonna show them too.
Yeah, he was at New Mexico. But guess what? In that one game, 13 for 106 in the TUD.
Yes. Yes. Dude is a demon.
Oh, because he was basically trying to get into his 6th year.
Yep. I didn't know he was a little bit older prospect. Did not know that.
But look at this though. All right, Genty had almost 500, 600 touches in the last 2 seasons. This guy, 121, 120, 189. At 189, he went for 1190. He's still kind of fresh with the age.
Just look at his cut.
He saw that. Ooh.
That's against Texas A&M.
And that's
against NFL dudes. That's against NFL dudes.
What year was this?
This was 2023.
Yeah,
okay.
That's New Mexico.
At New Mexico. Free tacos.
Did they still have Jimbo?
I don't get that. But
was Jimbo still coaching these guys?
Yes, this was Jimbo before he got fired.
Off one of their tight ends.
He gives us what we need.
Go ahead.
He gives us juice.
Him. I just saw that. Go ahead and draft him. Draft him. Who's the last pick anyway?
Well, I think the one selling point with Ja'Cory is how he performed at the Shrine Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my fault. Got to share the thing.
I think you do it.
5'11", 208.
Unless you want to go with Nick Martin.
He's still there?
Yeah.
Ooh.
But you could argue.
I would like Jalen Walker as an undrafted free agent over Nick Martin.
Okay. I'm with you. You know, that was my guy.
We can get both.
Can't get both.
At UDFA? You say we can't?
Can.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was about to say. Yeah.
We did get George McCoy last year.
I'm getting Ja'Cory, man.
Yeah, go with Ja'Cory. Yeah. And make sure you put that in the group chat so I can, yeah. That's a good one right here. I like this one.
Might be the longest draft ever for 5 picks.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm about to have to get off here in a second, though.
That's exactly what they're doing in the draft room right now, is just going over scenarios and arguing prospects. And I'm really intrigued to see this database that Adam Peters was talking about in that press conference. They're coming up with a brand new database for draft prospects to rank them.
We do have analytical people in the building.
Ooh. All right.
Did you get Ja'Cory?
Yes. I also downloaded it too, so I'm about to put it in the group chat.
That was a good draft right there.
So that was our final lot for tomorrow night. We did quality over quantity this go around, but definitely it's gonna be way longer than the next year. We're gonna be picking at like 11:30 tomorrow night, dog.
Yeah.
I was saying, I'm not sure if I'm staying up for it, man. I got to be up at 4 a.m. I don't know if I'm staying up. If I stay up to 11 just to find out that we're trading back out of the first round,
that will be so nasty. That'll be so nasty. Yeah.
Make sure you leave those jerseys alone behind you. You don't do nothing to them in anger.
No. I'll leave them. They won't be touched.
All right, guys. Any final thoughts before we close and get ready for tomorrow?
Hey. Hold on.
I know he ain't gonna fuck.
Hold on. We an hour and 28 minutes. And that Dre just gave me an alert. He's an audio only. Man, do better, man.
Look at that shirt.
What's good, brother?
What's going on, fellas? Hey, man, we get to pick 245 yet?
Yeah, we did. We done. We done.
Y'all get my kicker, man?
Nah, we ain't do kicker this time.
Man, I got Cal written all over it.
Nah, I got DT written all over it.
DT shot that down.
We got to like 205. Before 205, he was like, hey, man, we ain't doing the kicker.
I know what
Go
Deuce is
straight up.
doing. Deuce is on his way back from dropping Adam Peters off at the crib.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I know.
know.
Yeah, I know. I just saw that
Nah,
new. I
man.
saw that new War Room. Yeah, I know.
They look good, don't it?
Yeah, got a pool in there. Yeah, I know.
Oh man, got a pool in the war room.
You got a fountain in there.
Ooh.
Yep, yep.
This is a good show tonight, man. I am about to hop off. Appreciate it, man. Hey, listen, no matter what happens at 29, man, trust the process, y'all. We here. We were a game away from the ultimate goal last year, man. We just added to the foundation, and that's just where I'm at with it, man. I'm trusting the process. I don't care who it is, because I know they're gonna come here, they're gonna compete, and they're gonna add to the talent of this team, man. That we need, man. We need talent, 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 and talent don't just stop at 29, y'all. You know that thing goes to 61, it goes to 128, it goes to 205, it goes to 245. We're gonna get talent all through this draft. That's gonna come in and contribute, man. But that's my final word for the night, man. I definitely see y'all tomorrow. Draft day is tomorrow, y'all. We are here. We made it. And I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
definitely did, man. Definitely did.
I'm
Okay,
like
the
falling
sound.
asleep. Like falling asleep over here. I was thinking of something funny to say, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not gonna bring up Shannon Sharp again.
Again? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you gotta watch the recording.
Oh, oh.
We were talking about Isaiah Bond, and he said that about 10,000. The girl, like, I don't want to get into it. But it's like the same thing. All right, everybody. Well, love you guys. This has been a fun process for us in this pre-draft. As much as we didn't get into all positions, as much as we would like to, we looked at a lot of guys, and I think that we did a really good job of breaking down each position. And what you guys can see that with only 5 picks, it's really hard to be able to get the most production possible out of it. So we'll see how it goes tomorrow night, but it's been a fun time. I'm happy because we got Andrew Bakuba, so I'm a happy man right now. We'll see you guys again on next week or this Sunday to recap the draft, which let's hope that we're all going to be smiling. I know that we are.
Yeah, I hope so.
All right, man. But look, that's all we got for y'all for the final mock draft. That's our final mock draft. I will be posting it on all social medias. Share your thoughts and share your comments of what you think about it. But that's not the end all be all, because tomorrow night we will be here again. The NFL draft is here, people. We will see you Sunday to recap our picks. So everybody have a safe night, and we'll see you guys for the 3-day event.
Peace.